So in this video, we're going to tackle how to handle chi-square test using Excel. Statistics is almost inevitable in all courses. In medicine, they call it biostat. In in economics, they call it statistics, just economic statistics. Depending on which course you're taking, mostly statistics is almost inevitable. So, and in statistics, one of the things that you can't avoid is a chi-square test. So this test, normally you're given data in this format. You have your you have your columns, 4 columns, and you have your 4 rows. It depends. It's not guaranteed that every time you'll get 4 rows and 4 columns, but in this case, I'll use 4 rows and 4 columns. I think that's the maximum mostly I've seen happening in statistics. So you're there, you're wondering. These guys tell you we need chi-square, a chi-square test statistic. And of course, the easiest way to do any statistics is by use of Excel. Trust you me, I have done this before, and I've seen it being easier when you use Excel as opposed to trying and scribble things out, unless otherwise you're told to do it manually. But if you have options, please use Excel. So chi-square test is found by checking observed minus expected. That should be the formula. So yes, I'm right. Yeah. So observed minus expected divided by expected. Then all these closed. Let me just do this so that at least there's some clarity. Then yeah, this way. Then you square that. Whatever you get, you square that. So this is a little bit vague, but at least I'll try and put it in a better way when I do the calculations. So here you are. So the first thing you need to do when you're finding chi-square is to first get the totals. So just write total here. Then formula is sum of what? Sum of all the rows. Then you drag that formula down. You have your totals. Same thing here. You do this. These are totals. Total. So same thing. Sum. Drag all the columns. Then okay. Seems like I didn't pick. This is something I never picked. No, it's okay. Yeah. So drag that formula along. Then now this time around you can extend it to get the overall total. So that's it. That's the formula for getting the total. This value is very important because this now will determine a lot of stuff here. Now this, please label this observed. Yeah, this is observed. Now we proceed to what? To expected, because from the formula you see there. So expected, you just copy and paste, but just the columns and the rows, excluding totals. So you come here, then you right click, then paste as numbers. Yeah, so then we have the same similar thing, but now just numbers. Again, you bolden these ones, of course you don't need to, but I'm doing it so that we make the work a little bit neat. And then clear the internal numbers, clear them. Then now you need to put now the formulas. How do we get expected? So expected, let me just write expected here. So expected value is given by checking the row column, row total. Let me just write TC total column, and then total row. So total row. Then what you get, so what you get, you divide it by the overall total. That's the formula. So now let me put it into practice. So we say it's the total, column total. So in this case, if you want to find the first expected value, the total for this column is 154. You take that multiplied by total for the row is 135. And then you divide that by what? By the overall total, which is what? 760. Then you have the expected value. I mean, all the columns will have something similar. The only thing that will keep changing is on the rows total. So what you do, you tell it, please hold this constant. You highlight it and then you press. Sorry, I need to have let me just do that. F4. Sorry, you don't need to use any function. Just do F4. F4. That is for we put that it's for putting dollar signs, and dollar signs in Excel show that some repetition that you're using that number. Then other thing also you need to do, put dollar signs what in this overall total. The only thing that will be changing is on the side. Then you put you enter. Then if you drag that formula down, then these are the totals. You notice if I click here, the value that is picked is the next. The only thing that changes is on the rows. That is along a column, what changes is on the rows, and again along a row, what changes is the column. So I'll show that. So that's it, you have it. Now that is for the expected values of the first column. So let's do the same thing here. It's now, in this case, it will be the new total will be 162, that is F10, times again 135. Yeah, and then this divided by the overall total. But now we need to put dollar signs here. F4, press F4, and again in this you also press F4 to make work easier. So that's it. So again we drag it along the column. Same thing here. Now you know what you're doing. Now let's move a little bit faster. 151 times 135, of course, then divided by 760. But now you need to put total column total signs, then equal sign. So there we go. Then here as well. And by then, never make a mistake of dragging it along the row. It's along the column. If you make that mistake, everything here becomes a mess. Next is putting now 293 multiplied by 135. Divide that by 760. But of course, we need again our dollar signs. Yeah. And it's not everything being dollar sign. It's only the row totals and the overall total. So you drag that, you have your expected. So you fully filled the expected value table. Yeah, so this is what we have. So now we move next now to what? Getting the chi-square. Chi-square. So you can actually come copy same stuff. Copy. Okay, it should be copy, not cut. Copy, and then come here. You paste as numbers, but again you clear the inner values. Then now we go back to our formula for chi-square. So actually you can write it chi-square just statistic. Yeah. So after simply having that, now you put the formula. Now we had our formula here back then, that is observed minus expected divided by expected, then squared. So that applies to all the cells. So this one we just put on one cell, and then we drag throughout the whole set. So our observed, what is our observed is 30 minus our expected is this one here, 27 point something. And then what it's actually squared, this one squared, then divided by, I'll correct on the formula there, divided by the same the expected value. That is the chi-square. So you drag it along the rows, then again along the columns. So then you have your chi-square. So definitely here you just come and write chi-square. So chi-square test. This one will be found by what? The sum of what? sum of everything here in this range. That's your chi-square test, and then you have a test there. So now comparing it now with the critical value, you're able to either reject or accept, fail to reject or fail to reject the null hypothesis. So this is how you do a chi-square test. Very easy, very straightforward, but it's actually fast. If you actually spend your time keenly without even just doing anything, just focus and know what you're doing, this should be able to take you less than 3 minutes, and that will also mean you finishing that test as fast as possible. Thank you so much. Don't forget to subscribe and share, so that at least once I add some new content, you'll be notified. Thank you so much.